So this is my third design diary for Project Cerberus. This one is going to pair with the second one pretty well, because I want to talk about how, in the previous video, I talked about how I don't have levels because everybody just takes the abilities they want. This one, I want to talk about why every single one of those abilities also has a time cost. As with everything else, it comes back to the verisimilitude of the design philosophy. I read a post, I don't remember, sometime in the past, not long past, but not super recent to the recording of this video either, about somebody did the math. And if you are following the rules as the GM in a game of 2014 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, and giving everybody in the party the correct number of encounters as per the rules, and everybody is doing those correct number of encounters every single day, you're just a dungeon delving party, you will go from 0 level to 20th level, minimum level to maximum level in the rules, in 28 in-game days. Less than a month. And you'll max out your abilities. Obviously, that is not the way most people actually play. But that got me thinking, why don't the rules ever, in like most role-playing games, I mean, there are some out there that do cover this topic, but why don't the rules have you spending in-game time to learn things? For my rule set here especially, I feel that it pairs really, really nicely, because you learn individual things. Oh, you want to get better at fire building. Maybe that only takes a couple of days, a week. Oh, you want to get better at this. Rather than a level with a whole bunch of new things, you learn 1 or 2 things. And you can put them all together too. You are out in the wilderness, and then you come back to town to learn new things, resupply, and then go back to the dungeon. More powerful than before. You now know new things, you've practiced new things. For storytelling, for verisimilitude, this is awesome. For gameplay, I think it's pretty fun too. You are in this dungeon. You have to make a choice. Do you exit the dungeon to just the safe area nearby for a few days to rest up and heal? And I'll explain resting up and healing in a later design video. Suffice it to say, I am not just using the you sleep for the night and the next day you're back, everything's good, you're ready to go, reset. That is not the way this game is working. It doesn't follow verisimilitude. It's not the way the real life works. It's not the way fictional life works. It's not the way stories work. It's not the way good gameplay works, because having to make decisions between not great decisions is part of, a good game, at least in my opinion. So, time. Do you just go out and rest up and heal up and then go back to the dungeon after a few days? Do you go all the way back to the nearest major town and train to be even better, which could take weeks or months, and then go back to the dungeon, during which time the dungeon will have theoretically changed? You killed a whole bunch of monsters, new monsters may have moved in, other adventurers may have come in and robbed the treasure, taking over, These are the thoughts in the players' heads when they are making these decisions. And a campaign designed around these rules also means, like, hey, look, the wizard is going to destroy the world on July 1st, and it's January 1st. You've got 6 months. How do you use your time? How much time do you spend improving your fire building? Are you going to spend a whole bunch of time getting really good at building a campfire so you can do so in pouring rain when you get a 6-month time limit? I don't know. Maybe the time is set so you can't stop the wizard's first part of the plan, because instead you're out stopping, or you're out improving your abilities to be able to fight the wizard, because the first time you faced him, you got your butt handed to you. And then you go back to town and you train up, and he succeeds at his first part of the plan, because you didn't make the deadline, you were training. But you came back and stomped him the second time. It's not my game. It's not my story. They're not my characters. They're not my choices. My goal as the guy writing these rules is to give you those choices as the players, as the GMs, to make those decisions, to tell those stories that aren't told in most other systems. Because, like I said, in most other systems, you just level up. You get enough experience points, you level up. You're in the middle of a dungeon. Oop, you're suddenly more powerful. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not true to the narrative, to the fiction, to why would you just suddenly get better in the middle of a dungeon? Sure, somebody out there can come up with an explanation for it. Magic leveling power, the gods grant you new abilities, whatever, there's explanations for it. But there's going to be a limit to the number of those explanations. And there's going to be a limit to the number of stories those explanations fit comfortably in. And not everybody wants those explanations, and not everybody wants those stories. This creates new decision-making and new storytelling opportunities that most other RPG rules don't have. And for me, that is exactly the type of thing that I want to design and build. And just like everything else in my rule set, if you don't like it, it is actually really, really easy to skip it. I've literally never used that because I'm playtesting the game with my friends. The game as it currently stands, the rules that I currently have. And my focus is on, does this change I made to the melee combat work? Does this ability that costs experience points work? Which means people need to buy it. Which means we've been hand-waving that all. It has been negatively affecting the storytelling in the game. It has literally been, a month, just like I had talked about at the beginning of the video, that post talking about. Like, having my first set of characters. The players are on their second set currently. And yeah, a month of gameplay. Not real-world gameplay, a month of in-universe gameplay. They went from very, very beginning to as powerful as we were comfortable playing at that point in time. And that is a thing. Like, it was really off-putting on the narrative. But for game design, it was invaluable to just get on with it, test the new stuff, try out the new stuff. Eliminate that thought of the players not wanting to take it because they didn't want to spend the time. Because I needed them to take it for playtesting purposes, so we eliminated the time. The game works fine. That eliminated some storytelling. So, if you don't like it, you can just remove it really easily, but I'm going to put it in there. It is a thing that I am going to do in the game. So that way it is available for the people who want those types of stories. On another note, while talking about this, I was reminded of something I didn't mention last time. It is not deserving of its own video, so I just want to cover it here real quick. In the game, I am envisioning by default, out of the box, as it were, you're going to start off significantly weak if you follow the character creation instructions as absolutely written. Once again, for verisimilitude. Because I want there to be players, the possibility of players anyway, who are super duper weak. There are stories. Lord of the Rings comes to mind, where there was nothing special about any of those hobbits in the beginning of the Fellowship. Most people would argue there wasn't a lot special about them at the end of the trilogy either. But those type of characters need to be able to exist within the rules for the verisimilitude. Even if every single group that ever plays this game starts with a higher number of experience points and therefore a higher power level to bring them up to what is considered the fun starting point of the game. The fact that you can create a character less powerful than that is basically as weak as a hobbit in the beginning of the Lord of the Rings, just a random farmer with like no skills whatsoever, basically, except for the ability to farm. That adds to the verisimilitude, even if everybody plays starting significantly higher because they don't want to play such weak, mediocre characters. That's fine. The verisimilitude dictates that needs to be there, though. So there we go. That is training time and a brief mention on why characters are super weak when they start the game, rules as written anyway. So yeah, hopefully that is interesting to you. Come back for the next episode and see what I talk about then.